Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Levy, an associate professor of creative writing and English education, teaching future teachers how to teach writing, and the lead creator and trainer for dramatic writing for film, television, and theater one, the new ELA core requirement option for all Georgians. This course was inspired by the exploding film industry in our backyard. A little more on the dramatic story of dramatic writing. Through my work with the Georgia Film Academy and partnering with the DOE and Fayette County Schools, we proposed a new course for content creation, dramatic writing for film and television and theater one, which was officially approved as an English language arts core requirement option for credit one and fine arts elective credit for two. So you earn 2 credits. The DOE Education Board approved it in May of 2018. So did the University System of Georgia and TCSG for college enrollment. The Professional Standards Committee, the PSC, deemed that English teachers, theater teachers, and AVTF teachers can teach it, but they would need a micro endorsement. They would need to get the training, either be it going back to college and picking up the courses, or they could, because most everybody didn't have screenwriting, television writing, playwriting in their background, let alone some of these folks didn't have the English language arts pedagogy and methodology courses, or they took a hard look at our training and our curriculum and deemed that if teachers went through the Georgia Film Academy's dramatic writing training, they could earn the micro endorsement as well. So that's the 1-week training, very akin to AP training. A little bit about the who created it. The course was created by industry professionals, so professional screenwriters, professional television writers, professional playwrights. I am also a playwright, but we also consulted with playwrights from the Alliance Theater, and English language arts curriculum experts have their hands all over this. Not only do they collaborate with me on the curriculum creation, but they also join in the training of the teachers. So while I lead it, it is when the screenwriting day happens, we have a screenwriter and so on and so forth. A little bit about the course, to give you a quick course overview. Since it is an ELA core requirement option, we don't just jump in and write screenplays. We meet the state standards. So the first quarter of the course is called the writer's life. And basically what we're doing from day one is establishing that we're going to be talking from a writer's point of view the whole time. So we embrace the best practice of teacher as writer. That's critical to this course. So teachers are not just facilitating instruction, but they are another writer in the community. This is key, okay? We use story as curriculum. Basically, that means just starting with personal and learning how to go from personal to public, learning how to go from a personal story, crafting it, points of departure for an audience and a real audience, not just an audience of one. We do workshop, but unlike some other classes, we don't just teach them how to workshop and then go, okay, get in your workshop. We build on the workshop. Why? Because we are going to be eventually getting to playwriting, screenwriting, and television writing, where we workshop just like we emulate the workshop process of professional writers. What does that mean? Well, in script writing, you have to hear your scripts out loud. So say you're going to workshop a scene, you bring that scene in, you bring copies for the cast, you cast it. In this case, you'll be casting classmates to do cold readings out loud. And you got to hear it out loud, because you got to hear where the jokes are, if the jokes are funny, if the people sound like people, if the poignant moments are poignant, if it's going too fast, if it's dragging, all that. You have to hear it, and then you go back and you revise, and you have a revision plan. Okay, that's just like how a genesis of a real script happens. We use film and television as literature all year long, but we start in that first quarter, again, from a writer's point of view. This is exciting because it's kind of like I call ruining television for them, but it doesn't ruin them. We just get behind the curtain and they learn how TV is written. They learn the story structure components. So now when they watch TV, they can't help but see the exposition, the inciting incident, the crisis, all the things that they'll learn. And again, they're having higher level critical thinking conversations. They'll see a scene in class, then they'll also see the script from where that scene was in the script, like whatever the pilot episode, for instance, that sold that production. So they'll see the script version, and then they'll see the different version that was produced and have this kind of conversation about, well, why did they cut this? Why did they add this? These are the kinds of conversations. They're very engaging. The students are extremely interested in them. Same thing with the multi-genre research project. We don't do a traditional research project. We do a research project that emulates real writing process. Real writers need to find out information about characters, about occupations, about places, about history, and then they use that research and put it into the scripts. The same thing with the multi-genre research project. It hits all the state standards of a traditional research project, but it's a higher level of thinking on the Bloom's taxonomy, because you're researching, you're analyzing, synthesizing, and doing something with that research. And then eventually we get, we're going to be learning about dialogue and then getting into playwriting. And our goal with playwriting is we almost deem the theater as an endangered species. What would make a teenager patronize theater after they get out of high school? Because in part, if a student doesn't elect to take theater class in high school, the chances are the only plays they've read in high school or been exposed to are written by dead white guys. Whether those plays are good or not, that's a different story. But in this class, it gives the opportunity not only to represent and present contemporary theater, what's going on now, but also stories written for stage by a diverse set of writers. That is happening in our theater scene right now. They also see that their favorite television shows and movies are written by playwrights, folks that got schooled in theater first. It's a natural trajectory. They go back and forth. A lot of them will write for TV, and then in the off season go write a play or take part in a production of a play. So they will see that. Then we get into screenwriting. And first, the major assessment for the playwriting is a 10-minute play. Why? Because first of all, we don't have enough time to write a full-length play. And second of all, there's dozens and dozens of contests nationally and internationally for a 10-minute play. So they are not only learning how to write a 10-minute play, but also how to submit it for contests. And some teachers have had their students go through that motion, because in our curriculum, we preach bigger and better than a grade, something that is exactly how real writers write. Real writers get a play ready and they send it out to a contest for hopefully to win it for production. Most of them get rejected. Maybe they'll win, okay? We also have a state competition, which I'll talk about in a second. Then we get into screenwriting. The major assessment for the screenplay is a 10 to 15 page play, where we teach them that screenplays, all of them are written in 3 acts. So first of all, they're going to learn what an act is and what goes in the first act, second act, third act, and then they're going to emulate that in their own screenplay that they're going to write. Also, they're learning that while 80% of the industry is television and streaming, most of those folks that get those gigs do so by writing a 10 to 15 page script, submitting it to a short film festival. That's how they get their portfolios up with short films. And so they're going to learn that. And then when they get into the TV writing part of the curriculum, we also talk more about the business. We're going to go over coverage of scripts, concepts, how to write a concept page or 2 pages, how to write log lines, pitching to networks, all of these things. While we don't write formal essays in the class, we're using essay muscles for all of these things. In other words, if you're pitching to a network, you are literally asking them for millions of dollars for your pilot or your whole series. You better have a pitch that is not only attention getting, engaging, entertaining, succinct, persuasive, again, all these things that you would do with an essay. But the students aren't asking, why do I have to do this? Why? They know, they see the life application of it. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a quick overview of what the class is. We also have state competitions. We had our first one for the 10-minute play, 6 to 8 well, we picked 6 student plays last year. In other words, each school has a competition to pick the best 10-minute play for their school. And then they send it to the state where we have professional judges. And you see here, teacher is writer. 2 teacher plays were selected. So every teacher that writes a 10-minute play, and in our curriculum, every teacher will, they submit their play as well. And then we were gonna have a stage reading with professional actors and directors. But we had to go Zoom, like a lot of things for a lot of people are doing this year. So we did this. This happened in July 2020. You see here, we got a professional director, professional actress, professional actor, professional actor. Here's Shane, this wonderful senior playwright who was one of the 6 playwrights that won. He got to hear his script out loud by these professionals. So for the first time, all these playwrights were beaming at this opportunity. Then they jumped back on Zoom. They discussed the run. The actors asked them questions, just like actors ask writers questions in professional situations so that they can play their character better. But also there's a small discussion about, can we make any minor revisions? Can we make this more clear? These kinds of conversations. So we made revisions on the spot, went back and rehearsed it, and then recorded the final run and then put that on my YouTube page. So we've got all these 10-minute plays on my YouTube page, and now all dramatic writers and all dramatic writing teachers have access to that as samples. And we'll keep doing it. Same thing with the screenwriting. We have a screenwriting competition. The only cool, addition to this is we've got a great, generous donor who has donated CAS scholarship prizes for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So awesome. Just to reiterate, this is an English language arts core requirement course. It is not a, quote, creative writing elective dumping ground. So we created this with the industry professionals and the ELA curriculum experts. And so it's got all the EduSpeak stuff, and we're happy to share that with you. Assessment matrices, pacing guides, all of it. Like any other core requirement course, it is a rigorous course. The students are writing probably more than in any other class. They're just really engaged in the writing because they're interested in what they're writing. And just real quick, in the beginning, they got lots of questions. Does this qualify for Hope? Can my kid get into UGA? Can it be an honors course? Well, the DOE was awesome, and they acted quickly, and they came up with the remedy to give dramatic writing the same line number as advanced composition. That was, brilliant. So as you know, counselors and college admission folks, they deal more with the line numbers than they do with the titles of the courses. And as you can see here, this is just a segment pulled from the document. Here's the link to the full 2.5 page document. But essentially, you earn 1 credit of advanced composition and 1 credit for a fine arts elective. It can be the 4th requirement option. And also, now we're seeing schools offer it as an honors dramatic writing because they can use the same, it is the same line number as honors advanced composition. That's what we're seeing lots of schools offer it both ways. Just the numbers as of 2021, 272 teachers have been trained. And the course has been being offered in 62 Georgia districts, which is a lot, and it's all over Georgia. But as you know, there's over 160 districts in Georgia. So we're reaching out to all those districts, and we're hearing back, and many more are going to jump on. 6,330 Georgia high school students will have completed it by the end of spring 21. It's a thing. We think that number is going to double because of COVID. Some courses got canceled because they went to an asynchronous virtual situation. But we think this number is going to double with what we're hearing back from schools, districts, and teachers that are teaching this. The training, really quick. As I said, teachers earn a micro endorsement when they complete the training from PSC. It's led by industry professionals and curriculum experts, meets the DOE state standards. And we have a retention program. This is something we're really proud of because we didn't want to just teach them a year's worth of curriculum, drop them off a cliff. We want the course to do well. And they have been able to network with each other on Facebook, email, Google Docs, because they're sharing materials. And I'm able to run professional development sessions because I know where they are in the curriculum. I bring on some experts, you know, like for the MGP, I'll bring on some teachers who have had success with it. And then if the teachers can attend during that time, great, they get to see it. If not, it's recorded, they can go back and visit it. And it's been really useful, especially this year as we troubleshoot, you know, the truncated amount of time that's happened. The new training sessions that we have on the books is April 5th through 9th, which is, I think most districts spring break. Again, they have to attend 1 week, 9 to 4. It is virtual. It is all synchronous, and they can pick one of these weeks. And we say, if you know that your teacher, even if your school is not going to, you know, pay for it until X date, if you know a teacher is going to attend, please sign up and save your spot. How much is it? Teacher training costs $750, which is a little less expensive than AP, but it's about that same model. And you can go to Georgia Film Academy, go to the secondary initiatives, you'll see dramatic writing, and you'll go to the C-Vent, and you can sign up for one of these week's dates. Hopefully that gives you an overview of what the course is. Please reach out to me if you have further questions or you want to jump on a Zoom or a phone call. I can talk more about it. Thank you so much, and hope to see your district, your school, your teachers in the training.